Video back. Once again, guys, if you guys don't know, we do use Skype as part of the presentation for the ISTL. And Skype, of course, has a 4-hour maximum limit for a call to have video in it, which just kind of tells you how long that me and Ajax have been sitting here casting. So after we got that worked out, we should be getting into our next game in just a little bit now that the video is back.
Yeah, looking forward to the next games too. Do we have any idea what our next matchup's going to be?
It's going to be a Zerg versus Zerg, Ajax. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that's been the trend now. You know,
Yeah, I mean, what are you talking about? These guys aren't going to throw anything other than Zergs at us. It's going to be nothing but Zerg versus Zerg all day.
ZVZ or bust, right?
ZVZ or bust. ZVZ or go home. It is the only real matchup today for Team Optic and Team Property. I'm actually just completely joking, you guys. I think it's just a little bit of a coincidence that we've had this many Zerg versus Zergs. I'm actually hoping we see something else. We have a lot of really good maps that have not been used yet that would be really nice for some of the other matchups. And considering that uh, Scary is a Zerg player and we just used up Ohana, I think we might actually see from Team Property a Terran, and I think we might see Antigua Shipyard.
Didn't we? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That was the last one. Yeah. I'm more interested, in seeing a Terran. I hope they choose a Terran. Because TVZ on Antigua is one of my favorite matches. It's just, it's just cool. I just like it.
I mean, we like I said already before, Property does not have many, if any, Protoss players on their roster. I'm looking at it once again. They have their roster split into two different sections. They have their professional players and their academy players, and the only Protosses they have available are in their academy section, and there's only two of them. So I don't think it's likely we'll be seeing a Protoss coming out for Team Property, and also even considering that their active roster only has two Zergs listed, and we've already seen both of them.
Yeah. And they showed high level of play.
Yeah.
Their decision making was on point, and I feel like if they we have a lot of people in chat calling out somebody's name. Not really sure what that means. I'll get on that detective work. But they're saying Terran is the beacon of hope. So hopefully we do see a Terran, and hopefully we have a good matchup.
Tyrion is the beacon of hope against the scary Zerg from Team Optic. Is that what you guys
It
are
is.
talking about? Is that why we need hope? Because there's fear. There's fear that is amongst the ranks of everybody else. It is going to be Shakira's Plateau. So I am very sure that we are going to be seeing a Terran also because I think the only map that Zergs don't like playing Terran on in more so than Antigua Shipyard is probably Shakira's Plateau. It is still it is still in the map pool for the ISTL, and we are going to be seeing a Terran coming out here from Team Property. It is Property Bobson.
Bobson. Now let's see
Now,
what
Bobson,
Bobson is. Is a
yeah,
Terran.
yeah, Bobson actually has his own Wikipedia article, which is a little rare for most of these guys. Let me get this a bit. He has a couple of winnings here from Flashback's Finest, Barcraft SC 2012, and the Azio Rundown World Cup, which that sounds interesting, but he won third place in that, losing to Beastie Cutie. So this guy's actually a pretty accomplished player. He is from Sweden. He is a Terran player playing for Team Property. I'm trying to see if he's got a North American ladder account that I can tap into just here, just so I can get an idea of what he looks like on the ladder. Yes, he does indeed. All right, so this guy is a. Nah, that can't be right. Apparently, his ladder account is only in Plat League, but that's obviously not indicative of this guy's skill level. So, we are going to be seeing a Terran versus Zerg, and it's going to be on WCS Shakura's Plateau between Optic Scary and Team Properties Bobson. This is going to be game number 4 coming up in this best of 7 series between these two teams. Ajax, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm looking forward to seeing how Optic Scary is going to handle this map choice of Shakura's Plateau. See if he's going to be able to bring it back for the Zerg race, and see if he can scare Bobson out of the win.
Or he might have to use that intimidation factor that he used in the early game last time. We'll have to see what he does, but first of all, he needs an introduction. He is our blue Zerg player. He's spawning down here in the bottom left position of the grandfather of all StarCraft 2 maps. It is Shakura's Plateau, and it is Optic Scary.
And over here on the right side of the map, we have our red Terran player Bobson.
Fun story about Shakura's Plateau. Way back in the early beta, in one of the first few waves of beta invites for StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty, my very first match I ever played of StarCraft 2 was on this map. The older version of this map, obviously, with like the rocks on the back door, the really terrible version of this map. And I remember that I was playing Terran, and I died to a Roach Rush from Zerg. And this isn't one of those Roach Rushes from like that of today, guys. This is when Roaches had 2 armor baseline. They regenerated their health as though they were burrowed baseline. They did more damage than they do now. They were just the most overpowered thing I had ever seen in its StarCraft. Warhounds in beta right now might be a little bit worse, but Roaches in early beta from Wings of Liberty were something else. And I remember dying to them on this map as my very first game of StarCraft 2. So when I say grandfather of all StarCraft 2 maps, I mean it. This map is old.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. And I've definitely lost and won my fair share amount of games on this map, in all matchups, really. So classic is always good. It's always good to have a classic in the house,
Yeah, Blizzard seems to enjoy keeping classics in the map pool. It took them a long time before they finally took Shattered Temple and Metalopolis out of the map pool. And even now, with the upcoming Season 8, we don't really have any new maps being added in or any maps being taken out. Instead, we just have Tal'Darim Altar finally having those dumb rocks removed from the third base. But Shakura's Plateau is probably still going to be in the map pool for another season, and that's actually kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised about that, too. I know a lot of Zerg just X this off. They don't even want to deal with it. Mostly because of how easily the natural and the third are able to be defended by Terran. They just don't want to deal with it. With good tank positioning, you can see Terran easily take a fast third and just not have to worry about anything just because of how well tanks defend this.
There's also another factor too, and that's that in Terran versus Zerg especially, it's even worse in Terran versus Terran. But in Terran versus Zerg, Terran can split this map with you. They can take the middle position and guard all, what is this now, 6 bases with siege tanks, turrets, and sensor towers. And when you have that many bases and you have the whole thing split in half, it's really, really hard to break that as a Zerg player. I mean, we've got notable examples of that in like MMA versus DRG, MVP versus Nesties, so many different high-profile games played on this map where Terrans have really demonstrated that if you take a strong defensive position on this map, it is really, really difficult to break it.
Yeah. And Bobson going for the classic CC into Reactor Hellions. Building very standard from both players right now. Scary even putting down a spine. He knows what this map is capable of, so he wants to make sure that he's prepared for anything. Still harvesting gas, though. Or I'm sorry, he's harvesting, he's over 100 still harvesting gas. So he's looking to do something other than just speed.
This does look like a... I was about to say, like, this does